Here we go. We are live here, episode 147, with a very special guest joining us from across the pond. He is Coach Dan Moore of Wrexham AFC. Coach, how are you?
Good, yeah. Really happy to be here. Thanks
Yeah.
for the welcome.
Yeah. First time, I just found this out. First time in the States. What's that like?
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah. Tell me about it.
I thought long flight, long way to travel. Yeah, I've been in North America before, but not in the US.
Okay.
So we were in Nova Scotia in Canada in pre-season in July, just gone. But I've been looking forward to coming over ever since I agreed to come.
Yeah.
And I'm here. I'm happy I'm here.
Yeah. Awesome. So we're definitely our gang. We're glad to have you here. I've heard a lot of great stuff already. Everybody's been coming up to me. It's like, hey, you need to get you got to get the European guys, got to get the Wrexham guy on, the Wrexham guy. And I told him, I was like, I cracked a joke with you last night when we met. I said, hey, where's Ryan Reynolds at, man?
Yeah.
I thought Ryan Reynolds was here. So now I'm sure you get that all the time. But tell us kind of before we start, because we got lots to ask you, but just how are things?
Yeah, really good. Yeah, really happy to be here. Firstly, the stuff back at home is going well. The players are developing well, which is the game we're in, is development of players.
Right.
They're doing really well. We've got a player who probably right about now is in Ipswich with the first team. So the first team are playing against Ipswich Town tomorrow in the championship game.
Yeah.
So one of our first year professionals has had the call to go and travel over there with the first team, which is an indication of his development and the progress that we're finding. And yeah, it's going quite well at the moment. It's been a nice couple of days for me to reflect on what's been happening. When you're in it every day, sometimes that isn't so easy. So to come away, and obviously with the travelling and the time away, it's been quite useful for me to reflect on what we've been doing. And
as you reflect on that, what immediately comes to you? What stands out?
I think the development of the players since we returned from the off season. So our pre-season started in the first week of July.
Yeah.
So to look at the development that's taken place from that point with all of the players, whether they're in their first year of their scholarship or second year, or even the young professionals that we work with, has been excellent.
Yeah.
As I said, sometimes when you're in it every day, it's quite difficult to see the full picture and to zoom out. Having taken a little bit of time away from my standard workplace has been an opportunity for me to see that. And we're in the game of development, as I say, and the proof is in the pudding. And if we're putting ourselves in a position where we have players who the first team staff trust enough to take with them, to travel with them, then we must be doing a couple of things pretty well within the program.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely, no doubt. And you've been there, so you were telling me you've been there. You've been at Wrexham for 4 years, so you've definitely been there for that massive transformation that's taken place there, right? For us who are seeing it from afar, and you're in it, as you said, every day as a professional development coach. What has that been like? Just the environment, the transformation, the name recognition, everything. What has that been like at your level?
I think for me, this might sound strange, but not a lot has changed. Okay. So the coaching program is the coaching program. The relationship between ourselves in the professional development phase and the first team environment, the first team staff, has always been pretty strong over the last few years.
Yeah,
that's been retained, thankfully, this season so far. And the day-to-day operation of working with the players every day, the players go into their education provision, being integrated into first team environment through sessions has been a common theme. The access to resource has changed, so for the better. So travel provision, nutritional support, the holistic support which the players receive has improved due to the support of the club. That's definitely improved, and obviously that helps with player development. But away from what I see daily, the big change has been around the recognition of the club and the brand on a global scale. And I only really felt it for the first time when we were in Nova Scotia.
And when was that? When was that?
This July.
This past preseason. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we spent, I think it was nearly 2 weeks, maybe even slightly longer than 2 weeks. Up in that Atlantic Canada region, and to see the awareness of our club was quite eye-opening. I'm aware of the reach of the documentary. I'm aware of the reach of the club on the back of the various overseas pre-season tours that the first team and the women's team have been on. But when you don't experience it for yourself, sometimes you don't get the context and you don't get the feel for it. So my partner's family, some of them are based in Australia, some of them are based in Austria, and they're familiar with the club. And so I understand that there's an awareness of the club globally, but until you experience it and feel it, then maybe it's a slightly different experience. So that's been the big change for sure. One, the access to improved resources and facilities. Two, the awareness of the club more generally, and the opportunities that the players now have in front of them is significantly different. The opportunities, you would argue their opportunity to develop and progress is improved. Clearly there's an emphasis on the players to take that opportunity, and it's not going to be given to them, and not going to access it for free and without the work ethic required, but the opportunity is certainly improved. So it's a great experience, it's a great club to be at. And I mentioned in a presentation just this morning that the feeling that I have about the club is the same feeling that I've always had about the club. When I go to games at the Kairos, I don't really feel any differently to what I felt when I was a kid going in the mid-2000s. It's the same football club. It's the same, very similar fan base in terms of the sort of core amount of supporters that we've always had. But the difference is now is we're playing against clubs that are very recently Premier League clubs, and in the case of Leicester City, Premier League champions and FA Cup winners. So the opposition we come up against is that gives you a little bit of a sense of the progress the club has had at first team level in recent years. But in general, on a day-to-day basis, it's kind of pretty similar to what we've always been doing.
That's pretty awesome. That's all. Now, I guess because you hit on that there a little bit from the perspective, because that was going to be my next question. The people that have been the supporters, right, every day, the people of the town from there, has, with whether we say expansion, transformation, the global reach, the global recognition now of the club, how has that, from your perspective, how do you feel that's impacted them? The day one supporters, the long time, right? The long time supporters, people of the town. What kind of feedback do you all get from them?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think that the success of the football club in recent years has certainly transcended the football club, and you can see the success of the town in general. Pride. Wrexham is a proud place. It's never not been a proud place. But the increased confidence level I feel in the area is tangible, and that is a symptom of the success of the football club, I think. You can imagine that the stadium now having this season around 10,000 fans in it for a men's first team home game has a knock-on effect on the local economy, with having so many people in the town attending a football match, compared to maybe before the takeover, it might have been 5,000 or 6,000. Sometimes less. So the knock-on effect that's had from an economical point of view, I've got no idea on the numbers, but I think it's safe to assume that the economy is improved, thriving as a result of it. And as I say, Wrexham's always been a proud place. It's never been a case of we're not proud to be from Wrexham. It's maybe just been that word confidence that has changed in terms of the sense of feeling about the place.
Now, are you originally from there? Or?
Well, I was born in Wrexham.
Yeah.
And I grew up in a town called Buckley, which is 10 miles away.
Okay.
So it's only a 25-minute drive.
Yeah.
And now I live pretty much in the county of Wrexham.
Yeah.
But 10 minutes from the racecourse ground. So it's nice to see and feel it for myself, living almost within the county and so close to the racecourse. A lot of my day-to-day life is spent in the town.
Yeah.
So that's been interesting. And what I never understood, which is a good example of the progress the club has had, is when I first started going to watch Wrexham on a regular basis as a teenager, a season ticket holder, was I remember being in League One when I first started going to watch on my own and playing against clubs that we're now playing against in the Championship. Sheffield Wednesday, Hull City, there's probably other clubs as well, who we played against back then, some of which we've now overtaken. I never used to understand why we only used to get 4,000 or 5,000 fans at home games at Wrexham, because for me, going to the racecourse was like this amazing experience.
Yeah.
Watching League One football, watching some amazing players. And I was thinking, all I can see is Man United shirts, Liverpool shirts, Everton shirts, maybe more recently Man City shirts. There was no Man City shirts to be seen in Wrexham in 2005, that's for sure.
Of course.
So it was always something I used to speak to my dad about. So my dad and my brother are both Everton supporters. And I'd be like, why Wrexham's attendance is not 10,000 when you consider the population of the area?
Yeah.
So now to see that change has been great. And a lot of the younger supporters, all they've ever known is a Wrexham AFC in the National League, in the non-league system, and now experienced promotion.
Yeah.
And they're thinking, well, this is great. But I've,
what's the big fuss, right?
And exactly. And the counter argument to that is, in the 90s or late 90s and 2000s, we weren't getting that. We were getting relegations.
You're going the other way.
And financial trouble. And, so, that. But I never used to understand it. I absolutely loved going to the racecourse and watching us playing League One, League Two. By the time we ended up in the National League, I'd sort of relocated, and I wasn't within a commutable distance of Wrexham, so I stopped going to games. I was playing football myself on Saturday afternoons. But even then, if I did get to a game, I used to think I loved it.
Yeah.
I just had a feeling about the place, and it's just something I never really understood, and used to get people like mocking you being a Wrexham fan when I was 14, 15. That was like, why are you a Wrexham fan? Who else do you support? Well, I don't support anyone else. I just support Wrexham.
Yeah.
And now it's like the confidence level is, I'm a Wrexham fan.
Yeah, it's a little different.
Full stop.
Now, right? It's a little
and
different.
That's it.
Yeah.
So it's an amazing thing when we see young people around the town.
Yeah.
A lot more Wrexham shirts. Probably a lot fewer English Premier League shirts around.
That's a good thing.
Yeah.
So you talk about that recent meteoric rise, for lack of better words, of the club, right? Multiple promotions. It's pretty historical. As those with that, right? There's oftentimes that pressure that comes to produce, right? More and more your higher level wages, different types of players, what have you, some transfers. From your perspective, how does that impact you on the player development side, as with the promotion and the pressure and the expectations? What do you see? How does that impact you?
So for us, the real world scenario is that the quality of player that's currently in the first team squad is always improving. So year on year, it's improved. And it's our job within the PDP and within the academy more widely to ensure that our football programme, holistic football programme, which looks at the person, of course, as well as the player,
of course,
is of a level which can allow the players to get closer to the first team environment, first of all. Second to that, and just equally as important, we need to make sure that our recruitment and retention of young players is of a high level. So if we've got players in our building right now who we feel have the potential to go and progress to the first team level, we've got to do what it takes to keep them within our building. If there's players, other football clubs in the area, or maybe not in the area, we need to do what we can to make sure that if we can get them to come to us, we can achieve that.
Yeah, yeah.
And once they're with us, we need to make sure that we're doing everything we can from a developmental point of view to ready them for what's to come at first team level. Now, your question, really, the way you would sort of summarise the answer is, the first team level continues to improve, and it's a difficult task for us, but one that we feel like we want to attack to make sure that we are able to keep up with the first team from a football coaching point of view in the professional development phase.
As a developmental coach, there's no doubt you have to step up your game. Right. Yeah, no doubt. All great stuff. We're talking episode 147. We're speaking with Dan Moore, professional development coach of Wrexham AFC, who's one of our proud presenters, clinicians here at 2025 TASCO, Texas High School Soccer Coaches Convention. So we switch gears here, Coach, talking about a little bit about Texas, talking about TASCO. You arrive here. What's the experience been like so far? Is it completely different what you expected? You got to be honest here.
No, I didn't know what to expect at all.
Yeah.
I received an invite from TASCO a while back, and I thought, well, firstly, I was privileged to receive the invite in the first place. And that was my first feeling, was, okay, I'm being asked to go to a convention here. That's a proud thing for me. Secondly, not being to the US before, I was thinking, what's that going to be? What's that look like? And
not just anywhere, it's Texas too. So.
Yeah. So you know, I'm not someone who consumes any sort of media or mainstream media, so I've got no preconception of what to expect. Zero. So we landed in Houston on Wednesday.
Yeah.
We got an Uber down here. My initial thoughts were, why is it so warm? Why is it so hot? When I stepped out the airport.
Now they've explained to you it's this time of year. It's normally not this humid, this warm, right? Okay. Yeah. It's got all of us off guard.
I thought like beautiful landscape, quite scenic at points, especially as you enter Galveston itself. It was interesting because geographically the landscape, some of the areas that you're driving through are quite similar to some of the areas back at home in certain areas.
Okay.
It's just not as warm.
Right.
So
we get a little bit more sun here than in the UK too. So.
It's a bit warmer here than it is back in North Wales, but really nice, and I've been welcomed, really well by everyone at the convention, everyone at TASCO. I really enjoyed the whole atmosphere last night when the practical sessions are taking place in the exhibit hall was really positive. I haven't got all the answers when it comes to coaching.
Yeah, none of us.
And I'm keen to make sure that everyone sees me, firstly as a person, and understand that my ideas are my ideas, and they've come from various experiences that I've had and some knowledge that I've collated over the years. So to be given the chance to present and deliver a session in front of, I don't know how many, a few hundred coaches, last night was a privilege, and I had some really purposeful conversations with some of the coaches afterwards who approached me to discuss various elements of it. And that, for me, is why I wanted to come. Yeah. Because being given the opportunity to help other people is great, of course. I can help others. But that process helps me as much as it helps them.
No doubt.
That conversation on the back of the session that I had with some of the coaches was so meaningful to me. It gave me things to think about, and it opened up conversation in all sorts of different directions about coaching and coaching practice. So, as I said, I had no expectation. All I knew was the name of the centre, the hotel. I knew where I was flying to. I know nothing about Texas. I know nothing about the area, which is something I've learned quite a bit about the history of Galveston, and the only reference point I've got is I coached a player 10 years ago, maybe 9 years ago, who ended up playing for Houston Dynamos too.
Okay.
after he finished his academic work here.
Yeah.
And that's my only sort of link
Right.
to the area.
Yeah. Yeah. I was talking about it last night with Coach Rush, who I had on, and so for me personally, I love it because this is a place that's near and dear to my heart. 'Cause it's where I got married. I got married here, so pretty cool. A lot of great memories, and the eventual launch of our family. So I love coming back here, and it's one of the things I tell people all the time about Galveston: sneaky good food place. Sneaky good food. Like you wouldn't necessarily think it, but there's a lot of great food, a lot of great restaurants here. So and you wouldn't think it, especially with Houston being such a world class, food place. But Galveston down the road is kind of sneaky good. That's why I say that.
You'll have to take us out.
Yeah, for sure. We're at episode 147. We're talking with Dan Moore of Wrexham AFC. We start to transition here, Coach. We start to wrap up. Tell us a little bit. I know you presented already this morning. You got something going on this afternoon. What do you got going on?
Yeah, I was upstairs, presented to coaches around a bit around Wrexham, a bit around what my sort of coaching ideas are, a bit about how we try and create an environment, a bit around culture and identity and sense of belonging, some of our values that we look at, and then this afternoon I'm out in the exhibit hall. I've got a session to deliver based around defending, which I'm looking forward to. So that's how the next this is how today looks.
Yeah.
And then tomorrow I've got a session based around playing out from the back, which was quite interesting because some of the conversation which organically grew in our presentation this morning was around playing out from the back. So hopefully some of the conversation that was taking place with the coaches in the room upstairs, they'll be able to link to what we do tomorrow with the players in the practical session as well.
Yeah.
So that'll be a good one.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm looking forward to getting out there now and seeing what else is going on.
Yeah. Awesome. Great stuff. I know you'll be one of the closers. You'll close us down tomorrow.
All right. Yeah.
Tomorrow morning, the last of it. So really appreciate your time. Really grateful to have you here and have heard just wonderful things already. A lot of great stuff. And as we start to wrap up here, so one of the things I've been doing, Coach, is with all of our guests here. I started it recently on our regular podcast episodes, and I wanted to bring it with us here to Tasco, is give you the opportunity to ask me. I pepper you with questions for 20, 30 minutes, give you the opportunity to ask me one back. Anything as it relates to our game, soccer here in the country, football in the U.S., Texas high school soccer, something that's kind of maybe jogged your interest over the last couple of days. What do you got?
Yeah, my question is, how do you deal with the volume of physical load that goes into the high school age players who are maybe playing for school, playing for club, playing multiple different sports?
Yes.
Is that a problem? The load
Yes.
causes
My question is yes.
Possible injuries?
Yes.
And is there any solution for that?
So,
is there a desire to find a solution?
So the periodization piece. So I was just having this conversation with Coach Smallwood, who I'll segue to this really quick. So we had Coach Smallwood on here. We had some audio technical difficulties. We're going to bring him back on later today. Just got to track him down. So bear with us because it was a great episode. But anyway, I was having this conversation with him because he coaches both high school and club. And so you have on the club side, you have some of our MLS Next programs telling their high school age kids that they cannot play high school, right? And it has very little to do with the periodization piece, and it has more to do with just it's the old way of thinking of, hey, you're gonna build bad habits, you're gonna be coached differently from how we want you to play, and multiple other X factors, and then they kind of get around to the periodization piece. So I think in playing high school, I don't know if they've really explained it to you. Excuse me, but the high school side, the season obviously kicks off officially December 1st, right after Thanksgiving. And that will run through state, which is mid-April, right? Not everybody will obviously play that far, right? But so it's kind of one of the things. I'll give you an example. Like my program, my girls program, my ladies program, and New Braunfels Canyon, we're playing in 2 showcase events this season. And the only reason why I'm doing that is because they are spaced out 2 weeks, right? So it's 3 games, one match a day for 3 consecutive days, right? And then 2 weeks later, we're playing in another one. I'm a big proponent of, I'm not a big tournament guy. I'm not a big, huge for those very reasons. because the competitive part of it in high school is results matter, and sometimes you're playing. Many coaches, not all, but many coaches will play the same players over the course of all three of those matches with limited substitutions or sometimes very little substitutions, or you'll have a core amount of players that will not get subbed out, right?
Is that because they want to win?
Without a doubt, they want to compete. They want, so when you have a roster of, I don't know, 20, 22, high school athletes, you've got to get in some minutes for all of them. That's the real reason of those. A lot of coaches get it. They understand that these non-district early season showcases and tournaments before your district play begins it's about that. It's about finding out what you have, right? And figuring out what you have, figuring out, hey, what system of play or systems of play do we look the best in? What's going to be most beneficial for us? And then what do I have? Where is my depth level in terms of getting some players some minutes, right? Beyond your starting 11 or your 13, 14, 15 deep, right? Which is a critical piece because that, to me, that shows up later in the season, right? Especially when you get into the state playoffs, because that's to make a run, you're going to need depth. You can't just have a great starting 11 and then a massive drop off after that, right? So back to your question, I think the periodization piece from the high school perspective is from the start, mid-August to now, we have them. It's a strength and conditioning program based, as well as a soccer skill specific, where we have them for an athletic period, which is within the school day. So about anywhere from 45 minutes to maybe an hour, right? So it's about most coaches. You have to be in tune, especially if you have a good high volume of club players in the club system, is understanding their workload, right? That workload management, right? The understanding so you have to look at your program. So have an understanding of that first of all, and then look at your program, the 35,000-foot view, and understanding the difference in the macro and the mesocycles and how you want to approach. If we're doing strength-based strength and conditioning, when's the best day to be able to do that? Especially if we're building strength, we're building a progression there, and there's a particular day where we want to go 1 rep max capacity, right? How close is it to some of my club players' weekend matches, right? So I think the high school coaches with that background will understand that. They'll understand the player development, the sports performance development, and how it leads to. Because on the women's side, we were just having this conversation yesterday too. How with Maddie Haro from Player Data, right? How so much of the epidemic of ACL injuries in our female soccer players, so much of it is linked to fatigue, right? Fatigue. So I think it's still evolving. I think it's an ongoing thing. I don't think just as you said earlier, right? Nobody definitively has the answers, but we all want to be in support of supporting our student athletes to be able to do both, play club, play for their high school, play for their community, wear their colors, wear their school's crest as well, play in front of their friends that they see every day at school, right? That's the part where the high school game very much mirrors the college game here, right? So yeah, I think I wish I had a better, clearer, just black and white answer for you, but I think it's very much still evolving.
Yeah. That's the big difference between here and home.
Yeah.
Is that in school, the sports program and provision, and football program and provision is they might take part in football training in a PE lesson, and maybe an after school club, and they may play a game for school once every 3 or 4 weeks.
Right.
So the majority of their training comes at club level, no matter if they're playing grassroots football or in a professional academy environment. The majority of their workload as players comes within the club setting, and there isn't that massive risk of the players doing a huge volume throughout a week.
Yeah.
Because we know in school it isn't really of such a massive demand.
Yeah.
Although sometimes it can be, depending on what the schedule looks like.
Right.
But yeah, it's a very interesting situation.
Yeah.
And it's something which I've been curious about. I've been speaking to some of the coaches throughout the course of last night and this morning about it as well. So
yeah, it's not a black and white.
Yeah.
It's not a definitive black and white. I think it's very much what you'll find a lot of coaches doing very good and being very deliberate in how they're carrying out the periodization piece of their programs, right? And then some of it too is kind of target development with your your younger players, right? Or maybe you'll have some players in your program or in your class, in your soccer class, that they don't play club, right? They don't play so making sure that they're the ones getting some more targeted, reps as well, some more specific identified, player development training. It's a mixed bag, and then it varies too. It's a significant factor by the size of your school, where you're located. All of these dynamics come into play.
Yeah,
it's definitely not cookie cutter for sure.
It's a big puzzle.
Yeah, it is. Episode 147. We're talking with Dan Moore of Wrexham AFC. Coach, really appreciate having you on here. Thank you so much. Before we let you go, kind of want to give you our stoppage time opportunity to give us any shout outs, thank yous, anything that's on your mind as it relates to the game back home, here, Texas High School Soccer, Tasco, Texas, the U.S., anything. Floor is yours.
Yeah, I think for me, just a big thank you to everyone here at the Tasco convention for the invite. It's been a fascinating couple of days so far. I'm looking forward to the remainder of the convention over the next day and a half. I want to thank my colleagues at Wrexham for challenging me on a daily basis, and everybody that's been around me in terms of my football career so far, and the support and challenge that I've had. And my feeling right now is that it's just a big long journey of learning and development, and I'm looking forward to whatever comes next immediately today, and then whatever comes next tomorrow, and then we'll see what the future holds from Monday onwards when I get back to work. Right,
awesome, and a big thanks to your bosses there for letting you get away for a few days.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we've got a very understanding and supportive academy manager in Gus Williams, who's massive on learning, culture, development of people, and really, really grateful to everyone at Wrexham for their support and allowing me to sneak away for a couple of days to get myself over here.
Awesome. So again, today, field session, 4 p.m., right?
Yeah, 4 p.m. defending.
Yeah.
Looking forward to it, my favourite topic.
Yeah, looking forward to it for sure. If you are here at Tasco, make sure you get out there and go check out his session, 4 p.m. today in the exhibit hall. Coach, really appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with much more coverage of the 2025 Tasco Texas High School Soccer Coaches Convention live here from beautiful Moody Gardens in Galveston, Texas. You've been listening to the 50/50 Podcast, powered by the 50/50 Podcast Network. Help us continue to grow by liking, rating, and subscribing on all major podcast platforms. And don't forget to follow us on X at 50_50pod, on Instagram at 50_50 podcast, as well as on YouTube at the 50_50 podcast. Until the next time, keep downloading and keep listening.